Hey everybody, we are the Jersey Comic Crew, and we are bringing you the news and reviews of all your favorite comics, movies, and TV shows. And as always, I am Chris Heller, and with me across from this quarantineville is...
Rob Moran. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Got a lot of stuff. This is like the week before Comic-Con at home, so I know a lot of you are like, all right, we're going to get a bunch of news somehow. It's first ever Comic-Con at home. It's going to be very weird. And we're all going, so that's awesome.
Everyone's invited.
So that's what's happening this week when all this is coming out. So be prepared for our Comic-Con review next week. But this week, there is still some trickles of news and stuff that we wanted to talk to you guys about and kind of have a little discussion on. First up is a rumor. So the rumor mill doesn't stop turning. It is from the Disney side, Disney Plus series, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, there is a rumor that Hayden Christensen is going to reprise his role as Anakin Skywalker in the Obi-Wan series.
What?
So, yes. What
Sorry,
is the
I turned into Little John for a second.
It's a proper response. For some of you who don't know, Hayden Christensen was Anakin Skywalker in the original trilogy. We see him as a little kid, grow up to be Darth Vader, dies. You know, Obi-Wan had the high ground, all that kind of fun stuff. All those memes.
He was Darth Vader as well.
He was.
He hates sand.
He hates sand. He does not like sand.
It's not like sand.
So, of course, all of us Star Wars geeks, average and, super crazy fan over there, are losing their minds. Like, this is awesome. I loved him in the prequel trilogy. And, with the rise of prequel memes in our current society that we're talking about right now.
It's all about memes. Forget the show. It's just about memes.
There's some, nuggets of information that I didn't even know about, and I'm sure Chris did. But, after the Star Wars trilogy, he gave up acting and went to go live on a farm or something to that nature, and just kind of, lived a metal life. And I was always upset because I was like, all right, there's so much more he could have done in the Star Wars universe if he wanted to stay. Yeah. So now, that the fact that he might be coming back excites me. I'm like, oh, I love your work back then. Okay, having you in this just makes me more excited, and maybe that means we can get you back at Darth Vader as a Darth Vader series, because you could do that. You're going to be a man now instead of, a young boy. The possibilities of him coming back into the Star Wars universe is endless, and I'm excited. But even for the Obi-Wan saga, Obi-Wan and Anakin have such a strong relationship, and it's going to be so cool to see that fleshed out if it is. Now, I don't know if this is just a cameo. I don't know if this is a long role. I'm just very excited, Chris, and I'm sure this has broken your world, and you went down all the rabbit holes.
Yeah. You know me. I took a slide. I was reading under the tree and the rabbit found me. Yeah, it's an interesting kind of news rumor mill going on with them. At the moment it seems like it's for a series regular, which is crazy to me. So not just a cameo. So obviously to me that kind of means certain things for the show and kind of the direction they're taking it.
What do you mean certain things for the show? Like story plots?
Yeah, story plots and direction, because obviously, Kenobi's going to be between episode 3 and 4, that 20-year span where Luke's on Tatooine and so is Obi-Wan kind of training. If you recall at the end of episode 3, Yoda's all like, oh, training I have for you on Tatooine in your exile. Mm-hmm. And, he's supposed to go and kind of learn to communicate with the Force Ghost.
This is 3 to 4, right?
Yeah, this is 3 to 4. So at the very end of 3, Yoda, while he's sending Kenobi to look over Luke as he grows up and protect him, he's also like, hey, you're still a Jedi. I have training for you. Qui-Gon, through his spirit, through the Force, has found his way to immortality. I need you to commune with him and continue to learn to do that yourself. Makes sense, right? The Jedi are, at this point, hunted. So every Jedi that dies, you kind of want to have as many Force ghosts as possible to continue on the tradition, because they can appear and interact with the world.
Teach, it's in form of oral tradition, because the ghosts come back and teach you instead of reading a book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in their world, very literally, right? The ghosts come back and you see them. So we obviously know Obi-Wan does that, because when he dies in episode 4 as old Ben, he comes back in 5 and 6 as Ghost Ben. Mm-hmm. So to me, this means not only are we going to see, it's going to be, people have been asking, how are they going to do this show where it's kind of just Ewan McGregor by himself, right? In seclusion and not doing anything. And I think part of it is, well, they're not. They're going to have other people in the show on Tatooine, right? And maybe he's going to be watching over little Luke from afar. But I think with the Hayden news, it means we're going to get a lot of flashbacks. And part of this entire arc for Obi-Wan is going to be forcing himself to let go or to stop blaming himself for what happened to Anakin. And I think we're going to see that in flashbacks, which is going to, we've said it before, right? Clone Wars has absolutely upped the ante for the prequel trilogy. It's made it more resound and more full.
Now, let me ask you this. So, I'm in the same boat that we're going to see a lot of, flashbacks, right? Stuff fleshing out from Clone Wars of them working together, stuff like that.
Maybe him throwing or
kicking. But this could
Sam.
also be, leading up to Obi-Wan and Darth Vader having another fight before, when they actually have a fight in the main episodes, right? So, we can see, Anakin as Darth Vader in this, kind of dealing with the emotional trauma that this is. And, moving forward. And, those could be, little blips here and there. Because you have to be careful not to overdo it. Because instead of an Obi-Wan show, it's a Vader show, right? So, you need to make sure it's heavy on Anakin flashbacks. Maybe a little spice of him being Vader, dealing with the trauma. And then heavy Obi-Wan. And then maybe the whole series culminates and cultivates into the final battle between Obi-Wan and Vader. And then kind of ends in a draw, and then it leads into the next stuff. Because when we saw Vader and Obi-Wan fight in the main Star Wars trilogies, to me, it kind of seemed like they already knew who each other were, right?
Well, yeah, they did.
So maybe this shows that interaction, right?
Yeah, because in the first movie, even though it's episode 4, it's the first movie, but the prequels were written out in George Lucas's hand form. They weren't made in 1977, but yes, Obi-Wan and Vader knew each other. We just didn't know the story behind it yet. Mm-hmm. And that gets fleshed out with Luke and he's your father and why didn't you tell me, Ben? But the other side is also, I don't think you can throw Vader into this as far as him and Obi-Wan fighting each other. And the reason is because of episode 4. Because that whole part of episode 4 where, they get to the Death Star and they're trying to take down the shield generator so they can get the Falcon off. There's a bunch of lines of Vader kind of walking around and he's like, I sent something. It's a present I haven't felt since my old master. And that's insinuating I thought this dude was dead. And why am I, he's dead. Why am I sensing him now? So either that or they're going to fill in blanks where maybe him and Vader do have a fight early on, and he thinks he's finally caught Obi-Wan and killed him off.
Yeah, really I was saying, that is almost ambiguous. It could be I haven't seen him since the accident, or
maybe
last time I saw him, I thought I killed him in our battle.
Yeah,
and then I left, and I haven't felt his presence anywhere. And then Obi-Wan learned to hide his presence, kind of like you hiding your chakra and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and then does his own things. It could still work. If they really wanted to do that action sequence, which I would love to see, a young Darth Vader and Obi-Wan fight with current day action choreography, and
absolutely,
that would be beautiful in CGI. But
and they do have a suit for Hayden because they put Hayden in his own Vader suit at the end of episode 3 as well to make that kind of a linear thing. But I think with Hayden, the question that is on everyone's mind, besides, is he coming back and is he going to do this? One, why not? But two, to answer your question earlier, yeah, he stopped acting for a while. He did, a movie called Jumper with Sam Jackson, where
that was such a good movie.
It really wasn't.
I loved it.
It was a teleporting kind of Nightcrawler movie.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
And then he did this movie with I don't even, what was it? Not The Losers. It was that bank heist movie with a bunch of people. There was 40 people in the movie. I forget what it's called. It'll come to me.
Go ahead.
But
I'll look it up.
He did all these kind of random here and there stuff. Hayden isn't known for his acting. Let's just put it on the table. He's not the best actor. And that's a lot of the reason why he kind of just went into I'm kind of done with Hollywood. Obviously he made his millions on Star Wars and, kind of started his family, but he's not really a good actor. There's been a lot of like fans who've like crucified his acting. There's a lot of people who are like, Anakin Skywalker could have been anyone with an acting degree at this point. But I think Hayden as the face of this character and the face behind the arguably
American
the biggest villain
Heist,
of all time.
I think, is the one you're thinking of.
America, is it? I thought it was like something like the something.
That's all I see here.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, like I think the question is when Hayden comes back, because it seems like it's more like a matter of, when he signs on compared to if he'll sign on at this point. How's his acting going to be? Especially if he's not a great actor to begin with, and then, it kind of, he's been not acting for a while.
Did you have a problem with any of his acting personally?
In episode 2 and 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really bad lines in the way he takes it. Some of it is obviously direction, right? Some of it is, I think people overly crucify him the same way they did poor Ahmed Best, who played Jar Jar Binks, where he's like, dude, I played a role. I'm an actor. Like, I was doing what I was told to do.
I don't think he was that. I mean, personally, like, I see the rough around the edges stuff with some of his stuff, but it's not to a point where I think he's a bad actor. I don't think I can say that. Okay.
I think he's easily a bad actor, but I can't not see Hayden as this character, which is the other side of it. So I think some of this stuff, like, he was obviously told, like, your emotions are kind of always brimming under the surface. You kind of have to, like, they had him focus so much on that internal struggle of himself through those 2 movies that it wasn't so much like, all right, I could do these lines this way. So I think some of it is just like, hey, you got to realize he's told some of this to do. Obviously he's extremely athletic, like the lightsaber fight with Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And obviously when you look at that series of movies, Obi-Wan and Ewan McGregor is like the key, right? He's a great actor. He carries. Been in a million movies. He's classically trained actor. He's also a badass. And that British accent always helps. But I think that's the question with Hayden. But regardless, I'm excited. I want to see him kind of fill in more spots between movies, right? Or with flashbacks with Obi-Wan. Like, who wouldn't want to see, two brothers, almost like Rick and Morty. 2 brothers, doing stuff and having fun and whatever else. Reconnecting.
Having some s'mores.
Stopping crimes and, fighting together.
Having a good time.
Fighting ninjas, whatever. So I think that's going to be awesome to see for a series that's already really hyped.
As much as with these rumors kind of shed light, we still don't know enough about the series, guys. And we're definitely going to do our job once we know more to let you know. We want to know your thoughts on the possibility of Hayden Christensen coming back. Is this something that you're looking forward to? Is this where, they're beating a dead horse? They should just leave that character alone, leave that actor alone. He's too bad. We want to know your thoughts on this issue.